The following podcast contains coarse language and adult themes. This week on the show, well, holy shit, is everyone a professional assassin? I guess so. We're shooting the shit about Keanu shooting some dicks, covering the modern action heavyweights John Wick, Chapter 2 and Chapter 3, Parabellum. I'm Reegs.
I'm Eddie.
And this is the Film Addicts podcast. Hey friends, welcome back to the Film Addicts podcast. I'm Reegs, and I'm currently here with professional assassin themselves, bon vivant. It's Addy. What's happening?
I'll kill them all.
We were just saying off mic, he is a serial killer. He is a professional. I know he's a hitman and everything, but he's not being paid for any of this stuff. Like he's in number 2, he's got the marker, but he's not getting any money from this. So he's just a serial killer, and he's got numbers up there that, I mean, Jason doesn't even have Freddy. You take all the masked motherfuckers you want together, they can't even touch John Wick in terms of body count, you know?
That's true. I never really thought about it, but he hasn't been paid ever since the first movie because he was retired.
No. Yeah. They killed his dog. Totally get it. And went out and murked a bunch of dudes. And then they're like, then there's the marker thing, and then there's the, you know, getting in trouble with the Continental, and then it's all out war. Like, fuck. Wait till you see 4. That is... Actually, the timing is really good on that, because today we're covering the first 3 films, everybody, and we're going to come back and talk about number 4 when Ballerina comes out in a couple of weeks. And Ballerina is set between 3 and 4.
So I've heard that he dies in the 4th one, but it doesn't make sense because it's getting a 5th one, so...
Yeah, I mean, Dexter's coming back and whatever. Fucking no one stays dead in graphic novel places. You know, this is kind of what it is. That's what John Wick is like. It's like a graphic novel, in my opinion.
Also, Ballerina comes out next week.
Fuck my hole. Okay, well, we'll check it out and have a chat about it. But before that, are you well? Is everything going all right? What's happening?
Yeah, everything's all right. It's raining here. Like, it's that kind of rain where, like, it gets more humid every time it rains. And it's raining, like, 3-4 times a day. So, yeah. It's not good.
Man.
Annoying.
Just getting wet. Just out there. Just wet. That's not even a joke, Riggs. That's just saying something over and over. Anyway... I'm glad to hear it, apart from the dampness, that you're all well. I'm also well. I'm a little bit late to the episode because I was busy playing with cats because they're just good fun. But we're going to talk about this film. But before we do that, we've got to do our segments. There's some interesting shit that's been going on. What are we...
watching?
That's right. I didn't even warm you up. Here we go. What are we watching? I actually had the opportunity to watch some shit for a change.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so which is outrageous. But do you want to go first?
No, you go first.
Love, Death and Robots, season 4. Smashed it in a night. Bowl of soup. Vegan toasted cheese sandwich with jalapenos in it. And just that. And it was great. I just love it. I love anthologies. Spider Rose is probably my favourite episode, which is about a woman who's like, you know, this sort of trader in space, and she gets given this pet that the kind of, you know, I don't want to say anything. Actually, it's going to ruin it. Just go and watch Spider Rose. That one's really excellent. And there was another one that was great too. Can't Stop was really good. It was just a string puppet version of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and that was directed by David Fincher. Yeah, Spider Rose is really good. How Zeke Got Religion was the one that I really liked. It was like set in the Liberty Bell during World War II, doing a bombing run over France, and they get attacked by a demon. And fuck, it was awesome. And For He Can Creep is really cool too. And it was about like cats being the protectors of human beings. They're protecting us from demons and stuff. I also started watching Bad Monkey, which is a series on Apple with Vince Vaughn plays a kind of downtrodden police officer in Florida, I think they are, or somewhere down there. and that's cool, kind of like neo-noir comedy thing, and he's great in it, and I'm really digging that. And then I watched another thing on Apple called Fountain of Youth with John Krasinski and Natalie Portman and Donald Gleeson and a bunch of other ones. Great pedigree. This is written by James Vanderbilt, or Vanderbilt, or whatever his name is, who wrote the Amazing Spider-Man pictures and Zodiac, one of my favorite movies of all time, and directed by Guy Ritchie. It was rubbish.
Oh no!
And you know how positive I know. You know how positive I am. It was really rubbish. Like, I didn't care about anybody. It was everybody talked in quips and was really smart, and there was nothing real about any of the interaction. And it's just Raiders. It's Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like, they're really, even the story beats. And I love Raiders, and I ape it in my work all the time. If I'd made an adventure picture, it would be 99.9% based on Raiders. But yeah, I just didn't dig it. It was a real slog getting through it, and at the end, I felt very unsatisfied. So yeah, I give it a miss, everybody. But yeah, that's just me though. You might dig it. I'm sure there are people out there who love it, but it wasn't for me.
I'm just planning to watch it for John Krasinski because he looks fucking amazing. He looks so amazing.
Oh, he's great, and he's got it. Like, everyone's charismatic and stuff like that, but it's just there's nothing. I don't know. It just doesn't. I didn't give a shit about anybody. Like, I didn't care about anybody, the outcome. And all of a sudden, I'm supposed to care about this little kid. And he's not even, hadn't even been in it, like, who cares? Anyway. So what about you? What have you been watching?
I've been watching a lot of shit, but the one that I want to talk about the most is The Studio on Apple TV Plus. It just completed its first season. And I have to say, might be quite literally one of the most entertaining and important shows of the millennia because of just how real the conversations around the industry are. But also you can feel the passion behind it, and especially the last 2 episodes are just they're fucking fantastic. I think Seth Rogen did his best work to date with that show. The fact that it's an ensemble just makes it even more great because you get to see all these people you've seen in different roles be this very weird version of something you would actually see in real Hollywood at this moment in time. And if that doesn't sell you, in the penultimate episode, Catherine O'Hara, who is part of that ensemble, says, "Fuck my asshole, and I thought about you."
Is it a request, or is she complaining about something?
She's reacting to something.
Yeah, right. Okay, so yeah, it is my brand then. That's absolutely it. Awesome. Yeah, I've got to get back into it. I watched the first 2 or 3 episodes, I think.
Yeah, but it's only a 10-episode season, it's great, and it's Apple TV, so...
I'll circle back, that's for sure.
I watched this... this is going to be weird, because I've never talked about this, and I did not know that the show existed. But I watched this 6-episode series on Netflix called Black Doves. Keira Knightley and Ben Whishaw. It's a 6-episode series about a spy organization in the UK which trades in information to the highest bidder. It is the most amazingly well-written and well-shot show you'll see on Netflix, except for Dark. It's only 6 episodes, and the first one is about an hour long. It's a really slow burn until you get to episode 3. And when shit starts to pick up, you're like, oh fuck, I actually do care about these people. Yeah, it had me hooked from episode 1. And yeah, it was great, and I'd really recommend it, especially for to anybody who's into spycraft and is missing that kind of, I don't know how to call it, because it's not Mission Impossible, obviously, and it's not John Wick either, but it has they have action sequences that are very well made for a TV show. But yeah, I really recommend it, actually.
Awesome. What's it called again? Black Doves.
Yep, Black Doves.
All right, I'm going to put it on the list.
My letterbox is crashing on me.
Letterbox. That's a different app. That's an app for people who like to log the vegetables they eat. Lettuce box. You're welcome, everybody. Proper joke. Proper non-offensive G-rated joke for your morning. There you go.
I rewatched Little Women. This time was a hard watch. And I cried for almost 50% of the runtime. There's a spoiler for anybody who hasn't seen Little Women, any iteration, or haven't read the book. It was the anticipation of knowing that Beth was gonna die that really fucked me over this time.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard one.
It's an amazing film. Favorite film of all time. I'll skip to the one that I want to talk to you about, which is I watched The Matrix for the first time.
Yes, we're going to come back and do an episode on that, everybody, because that's awesome.
I don't know why I hadn't seen it before. It's so good. It delivered on everything, and I did not expect it to. I didn't even know how they were going to wrap it all up, and it wraps it all up with him flying into frame and then out. Which is...
To Rage Against the Machine, no less.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, fuck, man. That's just... It's the most badass ending of all time.
It is. It's fucking absolutely mental.
And, the lines are so quotable. Ever since I watched it, I've been quoting, he's starting to believe. He's beginning to believe.
He's beginning to believe. Yeah, I mean, it's... It's so iconic. And I don't use that word often because people use it for oh my God, this bread roll's iconic. It's just, an actual icon of the times. It brands 1999 as one of the best years for movies. It's a fantastic picture.
Also insanely relevant.
Yeah, especially now, you watch it now, and especially in understanding as well, where the Wachowskis ended up and the choices they made in their life, and both of them. And then you see it even more in the fourth one as well that they made, in the last few years, which is, I think, is excellent. People just didn't understand it. It was just misunderstood in a huge way. My fucking cat's running around. Yeah, but if you look at it now, it's all about gender identity and the politics of that, and being who you really are as opposed to who you're told to be, and all that. It's just, they're perfect. That first one's a perfect movie. And the 4K is just insane in the membrane. It's so good. Epic. Well, yeah, we're going to come back and have a chat about that. I think once you've seen the other ones, and maybe we could do the trilogy and then talk about the fourth one or whatever, because the fourth one's a bit different. But yeah, we'll definitely circle back to that.
I also rewatched all the mission. Well, not all, but from Rogue Nation to Dead Reckoning. I watched all of them. Yeah, and just... Yeah,
right on.
I have to say, all are fucking great. Just Rogue Nation is the champion of them all. It started something that... it started the Syndicate, which is by far one of the best arcs in all of, spy media that I've consumed.
Yeah, I agree.
Fallout is good. I feel like Fallout goes on a little too long. And Dead Reckoning is just... People hate it because it's part one of something.
Do people hate that movie?
They do. That was a very recent thing that I discovered. People hate that movie.
I'm too tired to hate. Sounds like an awful lot of expelled energy with absolutely no return. It's like going to the gym and lying down on the floor. It doesn't. Why are you here then? Just go home. Yeah, whatever. Fallout's my favorite. I think that's just one of the best action pictures of the last decade easily, especially in franchise town. Everything's franchised these days, and it's hard to do something new, and I think it really broke the mold. Plus Henry Cavill with a mustache.
Yes.
Stashgate. Yeah. Well, I'm going to see the other one today, so we'll have a chat about that perhaps, or at least and what are we watching if we don't do an episode on it. But would you like to do the nerd news, because there's some funny stuff happening?
I would like to do some nerd news. I don't know what the fuck that was.
It was a little bit creepy, and I'm here for it. Here's the nerd news. All right, we're going to do that one last. But firstly, Kristen Ritter is officially returning to Marvel for Daredevil Born Again Season 2. And it would also appear that the people who played Cage and Iron Fist are also returning there. And like I said in the chat with the End of the Line guys, that's great if they want to do that. And hopefully the kid who plays Iron Fist in the interim years between them shooting that show and shooting this season, he's learned how to fucking do kung fu, because the kid, like, I understood there was no prep time for that show at all, but it was fucking dumb. Like, don't give me white guy karate and not have the white guy be able to do it. It's just ridiculous. I want kung fu. I want kung fu in my kung fu show. Make that happen. Kristen Ritter, awesome. That Jessica Jones series is still fucking great, and she's an excellent actress. Yeah, and the tension between her and
Luke Cage.
Between her and Luke Cage. Well, yeah, the sexual tension between Luke Cage, but the tension between her and Matt is great. Like in Defenders, where he kind of sneaks up on her and frightens her, and she says, "I'm going to hit you so hard you'll see." So good. That
show sucked ass every time it was dealing with the Hand, but every time it was dealing with just the four of them, it was great.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And they killed my favorite Daredevil character, which is Stick.
Stick's a fucking prick. Stick is an arsehole. I nearly used the C word then, actually. Stick is the C word.
Oh, my God.
Horrible. He likes beating off little kids. Hang on.
Dude.
He likes beating up little kids. I'm not saying anything about Scott Glenn or the character of Stick and what they feel about children. I meant beating up, not beating off.
Right.
Christ. Okay. Let's move on. Did you see the picture of Sophie Turner? She's going to be playing Tomb Raider in a new show. So the former Jean Grey star is gearing up for Amazon's live-action Tomb Raider series, and the results speak for themselves. I'm just going to send you this.
Wait, is she playing Lara Croft?
She's playing Lara Croft, yeah.
Isn't that a Netflix property?
No, I think they can sort of license their rights out to whoever you please. The Alicia Vikander movie was quite good, but this is amazing. Like, she's absolutely cut out of marble.
Holy shit.
Right? So have a look, everybody. Look up Sophie Turner Tomb Raider, and you'll see her. She just looks like she's at a party or something posing, but she's fucking cut, and she's got a cool X-Men tattoo.
Oh my God!
Yeah, she's got a little X.
Damn.
Very cool.
Holy shit.
So yeah, I'm just like, whatever. Yeah, get it.
Yeah.
Make it happen. Certainly looks the part.
You know what's going to be funny? When the show comes out, people, these fucking incels are going to complain that she's too ripped to have boobs.
I mean... The internet's going to complain about anything to do with a woman at any stage.
That is so true.
That's always going to happen, yeah. So, like, oh, a fucking woman! It's a woman! Like, come on. What fucking year is it? Anyway, it's the internet. It's just filled with people like that. DC's live-action Teen Titans film will feature Damian Wayne as Robin. It'll be likely a follow-up from his story in The Brave and the Bold. So, I wanted to ask you, if it's Damien, who would you cast as Damien?
Oh shit, if it's Damien, I think Jacob Tremblay would be fucking great, dude.
I thought that too, actually. Yeah, he'd be a teenager, but he's still a small kid.
Yeah, I mean, depending on how they have him in Brave and the Bold and how old how old Batman is.
I reckon, like, still young, but sort of like same Christian Bale age, like year one kind of age, you know.
I don't know if he's 30 and like. If Jacob Tremblay is Damien, that they'll make him like 15. What does that imply for Batman if he's 30?
He's a fucking yeah, maybe he's a bit older than 30, I guess. Be 35 or something like that.
Also, if it's Damien, he can't be 30 because 30 is when he had fucking Dick Grayson.
Okay. I thought you meant like when he was 30, he was like bisexual for a month.
Yes, only for Pride Month.
Yeah. That's how I do it too. That's so good. That is sorry, Selena. I can't. It's Pride Month. I'm gonna go and get some just a heaping helping of cock while I can possibly manage it.
I have to open my services for other people.
Yeah, exactly. I can't be Batman this month. I need to go and have sex with as many men as I possibly can. Okay.
He can
Excellent.
be Batman in like a BDSM club.
Oh, yeah, he'd fit right in.
Yeah.
Keep the cowl on.
Like the one they went in the Matrix, which I found out is in Sydney.
Yeah, that was all filmed here.
Fuck yeah, man.
It was huge. It was a massive boon for the Australian film industry, especially when they came back to do the second two. And finally, this one is, we're going to file under no shit. Marvel has pushed the Avengers pictures, the new ones that are coming out, Doomsday and Secret Wars, to 2026 and 2027. Remember when you told me they started filming and then the release dates next year? I'm like, what are you talking about? That's ridiculous. Well, it was. There's no way it could have happened. 7 months they've delayed it from May to December. There's a lot of threads. There's a lot of threads currently, being dangled from Marvel's taint. I don't know why they're hanging from there, but yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty going on. But I wish everybody the best. I hope they come out with a shining result. Do you know what does definitely have a shining result?
Guns. Lots of guns.
No, this is a bit gun porny, but no, this action franchise, the John Wick films they're modern classics in terms of the action genre. Just so incredible. We're going to run through the first three, that first trilogy, just, in varying terms and have a chat about it. But first I want to ask, being the John Wick virgin that you are, how did it feel? Because it's not gentle. It's not a gentle movie.
It's not. Yeah. I find it hard to not categorize it as gun porn. But there's a charm to it. There's actual art going on in those movies. Parabellum is the pinnacle.
It's relentless. It's absolutely relentless, that movie. It's
also the restraint of John Wick to not fight and just be fed up with everything.
He doesn't give up. And he's like Keanu. And let's just put that on Front Street. He is amazing in these films. His physical acting ability to not just, because he doesn't really do his stunts. He doesn't really do his fighting, and gun work and stuff like that. And to maintain and have the stamina to fight over those long continuous takes, particularly, in the third film where there's barely any cutting without a stunt double. I can't think of another actor who's doing that apart from Tom Cruise, and he's mostly known for doing the big set pieces. He's not doing hand to hand like this, or the gun work. So yeah, he's just Keanu Reeves. This guy's had a career turnaround twice and come back with a huge, trilogy of pictures. And he's just a fucking charm machine. You can't not look at him on screen.
There's so much. It's so hard to It's hard to talk about his performance because most of it is just the action, but it's also him as the character. He doesn't say very much. There's more dialogue of Winston than there is of John Wick in chapter 3. I truly believe that he is one. I truly believe that he's one in a generation.
Just in terms of his commitment. And the dude's he's a stone's throw from 60, remarkable in his commitment. And if you watch Wick is Pain, the documentary about the making of this series, he's so hard on himself, and he just doesn't give up. He just never gives up. He just keeps training and keeps going until he's half dead, but never complains. He's only ever internally gets aggravated himself, and you see all the stunt guys being like, "It's all right, man, you're doing all right," and he's still just fuck, gets really mad about it. Just to have that commitment about it, of anything on anything is amazing. To give something your all, no one does that. Everyone wants to give it half and get the total result, and that's not how it works.
Definitely, I haven't seen Wick is Pain, but it just I don't know, just the tone of the character. It seems like John Wick himself just throws himself into anything that comes in his way. He's if I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna make sure you're dead and not breathing. Yeah,
well, it's the technical aspect of him as an assassin. It's not, you say gun porn, and there's a certain amount of that it is. And if you're into guns, you could probably see that in this. I don't see it. I see it as their tools. Like I said last week, he's a tactician, but it's also incredibly literal in terms of that action. The guns never shoot an amount of bullets that they don't have. Like, you know, if it's a 7-bullet magazine, he reloads, and he does that speed reload where he flicks the empty cartridge out, and then even there's one scene when he's in the museum, and he loads the gun and cocks it, and then checks to see that the bullet has actually been, you know, slotted into the chamber, because that particular handgun is prone to jamming. So that's what he's checking it there, and there's just a real practical element to the action that's going on, particularly when it comes to the you know, working with the guns. The most interesting things I got from the John Wick documentary, which is really good if you can get a hold of it, everybody. They were shut down a day before shooting. They were $5 million short. There's footage of the directors panicking, being like, I don't know how you come up with $5 million before Monday. And they called Keanu Reeves, and the guy was like, if Keanu is shouting and yelling, it's a good thing. But he was really, really quiet when they told him that they were shut down. And he's like, so we got to find this money somewhere. And fucking Eva Longoria saved it, the actress.
I don't know who that is.
I think she's in Desperate Housewives or something. She came up with the money. I don't know how she knew about it or whatever, but that's why she's got a producer credit. And she came and saved the day. The directors were developing that gun fu kind of style thing for a Jason Statham film called Safe. And there's a little bit of it in there, but Statham didn't dig it. He didn't like that, because these guys, the two directors, David Leitch and Chad Stahelski, started a stunt company where they would do previs stuff like, you know, shoot the fight scenes beforehand. And they showed Statham the previs, and he didn't dig it. So they were like, all right, we're going to hold on to this until they went on to John Wick, which was, you know, you got to remember, this is a non-IP thing. I mean, it is now, but it wasn't then when they first did it. It was just sort of came up with whole cloth. It nearly didn't get distributed. No one wanted it. And when Lionsgate did buy it, it was because they had international rights. They didn't have the rights to distribute in the US, because no one wanted that. And the only reason they were able to get the American distribution rights is because Kingsman got pushed, and they needed something to fit into that slot for the first Kingsman movie. So the things that had to happen to make this work, I don't know. There's something going on in the universe that kind of clicked all these things together, definitely.
$5 million is a lot, like a day before shooting?
Yeah, well, it was the Friday, and that was to shoot on the Monday.
That's still fucked.
I think the first one is kind of an interesting artifact, because it's a little bit more, it's like Keanu. It's very measured and precise. The first 5 minutes are devoid of dialogue. You know, you just kind of see the passing of his wife. It's really gut-wrenching. You know, everybody knows it's the movie where they killed the dog, and you can see it coming a mile off. And it's no less affecting, you know, that pan-up shot of where the dog, make my heart hurt, where the dog's crawled to him. I understand it's a rule in movies, you don't kill the dog. You know, I would never do that. If I was to make a movie, I'd never kill an animal. But you get it. And when they did a test audience thing, 50% of the men were like, yeah, I could understand his actions, whatever kind of thing, you know. Almost 100% of women were like, oh yeah, everybody fucking deserved to die because they killed that dog. And they're absolutely right. Like, you start putting the value of a life on some sort of hierarchy, that's hubris. You know, you start thinking that dog's life means less than yours, then you're placing value on the actual spirit, the actual soul of a living creature. For me, I just cannot do that. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's like racism. I don't understand how people can have that in their heads. It's just absolutely ridiculous. One life over another. It's just human beings, I get. You know, like, if someone, you feel like your life is worth more than someone who's a fucking piece of shit racist, or rapist, murderer, or serial killer. Yeah, that's absolutely true. But an animal's an innocent. Like, you can't think that way. Anyway, enough soapboxing. Yeah, so they were like, this is going to work. This is people are going to get behind this guy.
The only thing I knew about John Wick is that he kills everybody because they killed the dog. I did not know the dog was a gift from his dead wife. That made it so much more worse.
Keanu's so great at dramatic acting as well, but he just, that's not that kind of movie. But that scene where he gets the dog and gets the note from her and he kind of breaks down, or where he's yelling at the lead bad guy, I can't remember his name, where he's like, I think I'm back, you can either tell me where your son is or you can die screaming alongside him. Like, he does have these big emotional peaks. Most of the time it's very quiet and measured, which I dig a lot.
I'm going to say this again. It's hard to categorize him, Keanu Reeves and John, because he blends in it so well that I don't see him acting. Like when I see John Wick, it's John Wick and I know what he's going to do. Like, at least by the second film, I know where his head is at. Oh my God. The first mission that he goes on, or not the first mission, but the first people he kills after his dog dies, it's so vindicating, and it shows you so much about yourself that you're like, yeah, I don't care. Everybody fucking dies now. It's
also a great build because you don't sort of get any information about him until the dog does die and he does get beat. Hey, Perry. Or does get beat up. And he gets beat up by fucking Alfie. Then you hear about, Michael Nyquist, gets the call to John Leguizamo, and John Leguizamo is like, he stole John Wick's car, and this is the first time you hear the name. Killed his dog, and he's like, oh, and it's like, oh fuck, it's on. Killed everybody with a fucking pencil. Like, he's just. You're scared of this guy all of a sudden, and then there's got that great build-up of the sort of, that house music, and then it cuts to silence as all those dudes are in his house, and he just fucking... I really love the fighting style as well. It's not like just punching and kicking. It's more like... It seems like it's jiu-jitsu, a lot of throws and a lot of falls. Like, Keanu says it. He's like, if John Wick gets you by the collar, that's it. It's over. You're on the ground and you're getting Mozambiqued, which is where you get 2 in the chest and 1 in the head, and that's double tapping, triple tapping is a real professional military thing. So you never hear about that either. Like, he's just trained as an assassin, Red Room style by the Romani. You never get was he in the military? Like, how does that work? Is that like a thing? Was he ever in special forces or anything? Because he's kind of got that vibe. But yeah, anyway, I do feel the first one that you get those continuous takes started to get longer and longer as the series went on, because they became more confident and they were able to get more takes, and they had a bigger budget and stuff as well.
I feel like the long takes are much better in 2. I feel like 2 is chapter 2 is. I know a few people who wouldn't think so, but I feel like chapter 2 is a better film than chapter 1, because it's the restraint of him not wanting to go back into the life that he just left behind and then left behind again. It's almost 30 minutes, and it's like the opening of 2 is trying to make it all clear that I'm done. I killed your nephew. I want peace now. Let me be at peace. And then the fucking marker guy shows up.
And an antagonist who the protagonist owes something is always interesting. I did think about it, though, because I know that they didn't know that they were going to do a sequel. Chad Stahelski wanted to go straight into it because the first one was so successful, and David Leitch was like, I want to go into Atomic Blonde, and we're supposed to do that together. But I think they've got kind of a bit of a contentious... brotherly relationships. So they kind of split, but I wonder, during the making the first one, did they understand the lore of it? Like, I know the Continental's in it, and you get, Lance Reddick as the concierge, and Ian McShane as the guy who runs it, and he's the person that the High Council's put there. But that's the High Council and the lore and the coins and all that stuff, and how everybody's a fucking hitman. Like, how much of that, I wonder, did they have figured out for that first one?
Because not a lot of it in the first one relies on the lore. I think one of its best achievements of the first film is the mystery of it all. You're itching to know more about this world and more about just how it works. But I think like around 2 they might have figured out, because 3 goes into fucking seeing God, man. So they might have figured out.
This 3 reminds me of Game of Death, the Bruce Lee picture, how he has to fight a new type of enemy as he goes up the tower, and that's kind of what that last one's. You got the 2 brothers, and you've got Mark Dacascos and like all that shit. Yeah, it's just that movie like elevates over and over and over. Like it's gonna fucking he uses a horse to kick a dude as a weapon, and then he rides a horse, and there's a motorcycle ninja fight. Like it's just fucking awesome. The third one, I really enjoyed the rewatch of this. But I think that my favorite lore, like LORE of this, is all the hot tattooed chicks who work in the the actual administrative kind of part of it, and like book all the hits and all that stuff. I'm just like, Suicide Girls, absolutely. Like, just this works for me. And the guys too. The guy who plays Penguin in Gotham's one of them in, I think, number 3. He's the one who deconsecrates the Continental in New York.
The poster of it is purple, and you already have me halfway if it's purple.
Yeah, it's they kind of, the design of it and the aesthetics of it get stronger. Like the first one's quite muted, and then it becomes more and more anime. And by the time you get to the 4th, they're doing things with light in that movie, specifically colored light, that I just have never seen before. Like it completely broke new ground for me in terms of what could be done cinematically and in camera, because so much of it, there's a lot of CG, but it's all hiding stuff. Like they shoot in real locations. This was all shot in New York, the first one, and a lot of the second one as well. They went to these actual places. Like it's practical filmmaking. And in that third one where you've got the knife hallway, where they're like having a fucking jiu-jitsu fight, and then they realize they're surrounded by weapons. No one's got anything in their hands when they're throwing them. Obviously, it's, like that's not how it works. But that's still a practical use of CG as opposed to just having like that hallway not there at all.
Yeah. My favorite part of that hallway scene is at the end, where there's this one guy, barely alive. John Wick picks up the axe, throws it from across the screen into the head. So good.
I went and saw that with my father-in-law, and he leant over and he's like, "This is really good." I'm like, "Yeah, it is. It is, Ian. It's really good." I just have to say, my favourite line from the first one is when he finally Michael Nyqvist. I said Michael Nyqvist before. It's Michael Nyqvist, I think it is. He was in those Girl with the Dragon Tattoo movies. He was 53 at the time of filming this picture, and Keanu Reeves was 49. That's crazy. That is fucking nuts. But anyway, he finally gives up Alfie's whereabouts, and he says, "They know you're coming." And John says, "Of course, but it won't matter." What a fucking badass! What a badass! Fucking love it. Absolutely love it.
My absolute favorite part of first is the build up to the Baba Yaga. It's just like, and it's so good. It's so fucking well done. They do the exact same thing in the second one, and you're hyped. Like when he's killing everybody in the garage, and then the Russian dude is just telling them, it's John Wick. It's John Wick's car. And then the other guy's like,
"Oh, that guy."
Shit.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, it's a bit like that. I love it also in the second. Well, at the end of the first one, he goes into that veterinary clinic to kind of patch himself up, and he gets a new dog. It's a beautiful Staffy, who he's got in the second film and the third film. This is kind of where you get more of the lore. In the second one, you get, that last marker and the blood debts, all that stuff. But there's a great shot when the guy comes back and, burns down his house because he won't honour the marker. And it's just a man standing by his dog watching his house burn. And it's like, oh, man. Like the first one is the epitome of fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
This next one is just, what are you doing? He just killed 98 people in a span of a few minutes, and you're going to poke the bear. Like, what a fucking idiot. The transcontinental nature of this is really cool too, how he goes to Rome, and yeah, like you get more of the international hitman side of it as opposed to this sort of very, you know, the first one was very small. I was trying to think like micro-budgeted origin films that spawn a series that get more and more complex as time goes on and get bigger budgets and more prestige and the characters become iconic. I can't think of a franchise outside of horror movies that's done something like this. I can't think of an action franchise that's had the same thing happen where, like, you know, you get horror movies like, you know, the original Nightmare on Elm Street, for instance. It's tiny little low-budgeted, you know, auteured horror movie that spawned this massive franchise that has, you know, rights and all that stuff. And I was talking to a friend of mine last night about Friday the 13th, the video game, which is all he was, you know, you can't play online anymore because there's the rights are all tied up and they're doing a TV series about it and stuff. But that just started about a movie about the mother of the guy who ended up being the serial killer iconic character in that and doing all the murders. And it was this tiny low budgeted film that now is this huge franchise. But I can't think of action movies that have done the same thing.
The only one comes to mind is Kingsman. But then again, Kingsman was a novel, like a graphic novel first.
Yeah, it wasn't made like, because I was thinking that too. You know, maybe The Matrix, but that's sort of more science fiction, and it doesn't have what this has. Like The Matrix didn't spawn Ballerina, you know, the way that it didn't have a spin-off for people and shit. Like, yeah, it's really interesting.
It also, like, The Matrix doesn't need a sequel, and so like John Wick doesn't need a sequel either. But it's like, I haven't seen the sequels for Matrix yet, but for me, like seeing 1, 2, and 3, I think the first one they were confident about the fighting style, like this, because you gotta admit it's an incredibly new fighting style with gun fu, and like that's the part of it that they were most confident on. In the first one, and then in the second one they're like, okay, we know we can do this, we're confident that we can do this even better, so let's add more story and let's make it let's have an art style, which is why each shot, I can't get over this, each fucking establishing shot in the second one is a reflection shot. Did that so amazingly well. And then in the third one they're like, okay, we're gonna have so much more story, and but my favorite part of the second one is when he goes to Rome and he runs into Cassian, and they're both assassins, and they're like, "Are you working tonight?" And he's like, "Yeah." And there's sort of a calm, and then there's a gun pull. And
he says, "Commons like going well or something." You know, like the job. He's it is. He's like, "Oh fuck, I know what that means." Yeah. And then it's like, you know, guns drawn. That exit sequence from the palace after he kills the sister of the guy who holds his marker. He didn't really need to shoot her in the head either. I think the job was pretty much done, but okay.
No, but he did because it's his debt, so he has to like he owes him, so he has to at least make sure that she's dead. Like no chance whatsoever.
Going through the catacombs or through those tunnels where he's got the tactical shotgun, and while he's reloading it, he's still taking out motherfuckers with a handgun. Like he's just the speed on him, and they're not slowing down. They're shooting at 50 frames a second, probably just to catch everything, you know, nice and sharp. He's just so quick.
I think it's at the end of the catacombs shootout, where he's reloading the shotgun again, and he pins a motherfucker down with the shotgun, reloads it, and then shoots him in the face.
It's absolutely, everything about him is 100% lethal, and there's nothing flowery about it at all. It is precision tactical work that is designed to kill on the first shot. You know, there's not like long continuous karate and all that. Like he's literally getting people into positions where he can shoot them in the head, and that's, you know, it's game over kind of thing. No qualms about it whatsoever. Like the dude gets hit by a lot of cars.
That's
and
true.
Thrown out of windows. He's defenestrated a lot, thrown through glass, falls down a lot of stairs. You got to give it up to the stunt guys in this. I don't think there's anyone doing this kind of work in the stunt community.
Yeah, like I know people like to compare this to what Tom Cruise does, and I feel like there's a lot of misinformation about what Tom Cruise does, where he does the stunts and like the big action sequences, right, like hanging off the plane, or you know, badly driving a helicopter, but he has stunt doubles and everything. Like it's not that he's the only one doing it.
Yeah, there's people have to test it to make sure it works, and yeah, that's absolutely the case. But he's not gun fooing all over the head.
Yes, I feel like John Wick, Keanu Reeves is 99% the person. Like there is no way that
he doesn't take the falls and stuff though. Like he's not doing that. Yeah.
Have you seen like isn't the catacombs fight ending on like the stairs where they have a shootout?
Yeah, with Common, and they roll down it. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm like, that's no amount of padding is ever going to make that soft.
No, but there's like ways that you learn how to roll, like to roll with it and stuff. And they would be padded and stuff, but it is, it's a stunt. It's a proper stunt. So it's also where 2 is also we get introduced to Larry Fishburne as the Bowery King. Who's an awesome character, much more use in the next film. And it's also ends with the open contract, that little part there, and he sort of runs off, and you have a definite, so we're going into a third thing, and it's the excommunicado and the open hit on him as well is really cool. And the third one just picks off like immediately after, even though it does become this huge, it's actually like a globe-trotting adventure in part. Like he visits a desert, he goes to a trial kind of situation. There's a bunch of colorful sidekicks and villains. You need to change the title of this to Indiana fucking kill everyone. That's what this movie feels like more than anything else. Like, and I always forget how quintessentially New York these movies are until you kind of get to the fourth one, even when John does go sort of to the Middle East in this third one to see Halle Berry.
I love the ending of 2 because, and I said it before last week, it was an okay movie, but just the ending of him coming down and like understanding what's happening, and the excommunicado, and like Winston saying that John Wick asks, so why am I not dead yet? And Winston says, because I deemed it so. And everybody stops in the square. And like, oh my God. And then he gives him the hour. And then he runs into the city with his dog. And then the third one picks up while he's running with the dog into the city. And my favorite little detail is that the first one opens on the Statue of Liberty. And it's like, it's night, but it's not raining. And then it suddenly cuts to CG rain. And you can only there's the 2-second shot of the CG rain, and you can only see it because it's hitting the screen and not the buildings. And it's like, and then you cut to John Wick, and it's like because we haven't seen chapter 3, like the story hasn't moved forward for John Wick, so he's waiting for us to come back to have the story to have the story continue. It was really cool. And then like he is grasping at everything to, have something to save him within the hour. And then the hour goes up while he's getting stitched, and the doctor says like and then he shoots the doctor, which is just
the doctor told him to be fair. Yeah, I mean the whole movie is a chase scene. The whole movie is a chase sequence, and it's fucking fantastic. Yeah, 3 does have like a relentless pace to it. It's you get a little battle fatigued by the end of it. The fourth one's the same. They're probably a little bit too long, but fuck, it's that whole middle sequence that kind of is really interesting to me. I just want to say as well that one of my favorite bits is when he rebuilds an antique gun just to shoot one guy. Just that he had this whole like complicated thing of like changing the barrels and making a new gun and testing to see if it works, all that kind of stuff, just to shoot the one dude who comes through the door.
Yeah, because he only had that much time to put just one bullet in, and then he was getting shot at, so he just took the one bullet.
And then that kind of turns into him going to wherever the stables are in New York and getting, using a horse to kick those guys to death. But then there's a motorcycle versus horse chase, which is a joke they made in the film Adaptation. Have you seen Adaptation with Nick Cage?
I have not.
It's really good. He plays twin brothers, Charlie and Andy Kaufman. And Charlie Kaufman is the guy who wrote Adaptation. Spike Jonze directed it. And it's kind of autobiographical. Charlie Kaufman doesn't actually have a twin brother, but that's kind of the joke. And in that film, Charlie Kaufman is a screenwriter who's adapting this book. And his brother wants to be a screenwriter and is just starting out and starts writing a movie called The Three, which is about a serial killer cop and victim who are all the same person. And in The Thing, he's like, oh, you know, at the end of it, we're going to have a chase sequence with a motorcycle and a horse. So then it's like machine versus horse. And I pissed myself laughing, thinking, I wonder if these guys have seen adaptation and that's where that came from. But anyway, that's you know, once he does get out, you sort of see the Russian or the Romani backstory. He goes to Angelica Houston, who's dealing with the ballerinas, which will come into play, you know, in that film, I would imagine. And he says to her, "You are bound and I am owed." And they kind of get him out of the country. And we get introduced to the adjudicator, who is like a sexy Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Actually, come to think of it, Mary Poppins is a sexy Mary Poppins, so never mind. Julie Andrews, are you kidding me? At like 26, fucking forget about it. I know what fucking will help me swallow a spoonful of sugar. Fucking pussy, mate. You know, there's a word I heard recently. I was talking to the Sequel Suck guys in a chat, and Cable said that someone mentioned to him, you know, something, made some joke about it, something, and used the word mutt. Mutt is a Australian, I think, euphemism for the vagina, and I haven't heard it since I was in high school, and I fucking wet myself. Mutt. M-O-O-T. Just enjoy it, everybody. Go and use it where you can.
The adjudicator, yeah. Yeah, the adjudicator is such a fascinating character. Because you, like, even in 3, you don't get the hierarchy of stuff. Like, you go to the highest table, and then you go to the table above, which is just fucking God. It was so hilarious.
It's so, like, when you get there, you know, he goes on the Middle East adventure and, you know, walks through the desert, and it becomes like a fable, you know. She's like, walk until you feel like you're going to die, then walk some more, and then he'll find you, kind of thing. Like, yeah, it does become mythic at that point. Yeah,
but I love Halle Berry in that scene. Like, in like the stuff that she's in, and she has the German Shepherds. And I love that, you know, like, after he's convinced her to go and you know, talk to the guy who can take you to the high table. Like, it's a scene, and then she gets up to get ready. And there's just a scene of John Wick just sitting, and then the two dogs look at him, and he just kind of smiles a bit. It's just, and like, they didn't have to do that. And it's a split-second scene, but it's so good because all he wants is to just be with his dog, and he's just thrown into this world back again.
I think that's also to have you know that, like, dogs like John, so you can like John. Because, like I said before, he's a serial murderer. Like, he shouldn't be likable, but you do, like, because he has that. Yeah, that sequence, the Middle East sequence, in Halle Berry and her dogs, that's the best sequence in the film. That fight sequence, you know, getting away from, you know, getting out of that compound, you know, where the dogs are fighting and she's fighting, and she's amazing too. Halle Berry absolutely sells the shit out of it, you know.
I'm going to disagree with you on that one, that it's the best sequence in the film. Because I can't, man. You lock Winston in a wall and you go back in every, like, 2 minutes to reload. It's the best sequence. And then it leads up to like, the two guys with the swords. That leads up to the twins. And then it leads up to the biggest John Wick fanboy.
Yeah, Mark Dacascos, Zero, the character of Zero, yeah. He's awesome. Yeah, it's hard because there's also a full-on ninja fight on motorcycles, which is really cool. Yeah, it's hard to kind of pick a best sequence, but I do love the one with Halle. There's cinematography is got really good on this one. The fourth one's the same. It's a guy named Dan Lawston. He did Shape of Water, Nightmare Alley, works with GDT a lot. It's, you know, from Mimic all the way up to the new Frankenstein. He also did a really good French film called Brother of the Wolf. This one has a visual DNA that is really, really particular. Yeah, it's just doing stuff that I hadn't seen be done in an action movie before. Like, it's just like, okay, light stuff so you can see it and don't worry, but this is kind of really specific. I love the part where Halle Berry shoots that guy in the leg, you know, unnecessarily, and even though John says don't. And she's like, he shot my dog. And John's like, I get it.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, it's pretty funny. And he chops off his finger for nothing.
Well, yeah, the thing is, that's the most hilarious part. Because he does all that to just betray them at the end anyway. Like, he says that he wants to live to... he says he wants to live to remember his wife. And I'm like, you sure that's the motivation at this point, man? You're not just lying to yourself.
Yeah, I think he's a bit deluded. I think it becomes a bit clearer in 4, honestly. But yeah, he doesn't. I don't think he's got the full. I think he's analysed it psychologically,
Yeah.
For himself. But yeah, and then they go to the adjudicator goes to the Bowery King, and she's like, "You've got to have 7 cuts for aiding him." He's like, "Sometimes you got to cut a motherfucker." Like, he's just Larry Fishburne. Like, what a legend! I love him so much. Yeah, like I said, motorcycle ninja fight on the George Washington Bridge, absolutely. The Continental becomes deconsecrated, and it's World War fucking 3, and you get these G.I. Joe armored motherfuckers that you've got to like use armor-piercing shotgun rounds on. And having Lance Reddick in that fight is awesome.
Yes, like it gives so many stakes to that fight, because if it's just John Wick, you get tired of it because he's just killing people, and that's what he's been doing for the entirety of this movie and the other 2, and you get somebody else to root for,
I wonder what the body count is for these movies. It would be astronomical. And also, I feel bad because it's like some of the Continental guys are trying to help them fight, and they just get fucking clipped. Is that like janitorial staff? Like, I don't... everybody's a ninja or an assassin or something anyway. Like, are the guys who sweep the floors also fucking know how to do Krav Maga? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Continental. It's a dual business, so you got to know that.
Yeah, that's right.
My favorite part about the Bowery King getting slashed is that he gets slashed by 7 cuts, but the 5th one is a cut from the close up to the establishing. So you don't actually see the cut. So it's 4 blade cuts, and then the 5th one is just a camera cut to the other shot.
Yeah, it's technically still a cut. So yeah, it gets brutal like that. Particularly when you get to the end, like that's happened, and then it's in order to reconsecrate, Winston like shoots John, and I'm sorry, like no one survives falling off a building. Like, that's outrageous.
There were roofs, and a metal staircase, and he only shot him on the suit. He knows what he was doing.
Yeah, okay, that's true. Yeah, because he's got the bulletproof suits. That's true. Fucking epic. I can't wait for you to watch number 4. Number 4 is my favorite.
Then like the Bowery King's cockroaches go... I'm sorry I called him that, but I couldn't find... Because he lives in the fucking sewers now.
Yeah.
And then his cockroaches go and pick him up in a trolley and then throw him on the floor.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's like, John Wick, can you hear me? And he gives him the finger.
Yeah. He's so muted. It's like, ready to go. Yeah, like, and that's it. And you're on. And then 4's, he's recovered and he's ready to fucking whoop everybody's ass. He's just like, nah, I'm bringing the whole thing down. I can't fucking wait for you to watch it. It's going to be excellent.
No, I can't wait to watch it. They finally have 4 on Netflix now. So they have like all 4. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. I got the 4K of 4. It's fucking excellent. For you, maybe we'll come back into this. For me, the series like run goes 4, 1, 3, 2 is my order. That'll change when Ballerina comes out and when the animated prequel comes out and when 5 comes out, obviously. But for me, that's where it is. How do you rate 1, 2, and 3?
I'm still gonna say 3, 2, 1 because it progresses with every installment not progressive, but improves with every installment on the story, on the cinematography. Like 3 is the most different looking one from 1 and 2 because of just how rich it all feels. Like they understood the story that they were telling. They were more than confident in the action parts, and then they just let their full artist juices flow.
That's the thing too, is that they're so locked in to what this is, and they're so committed to what this is, and they establish it so well. By the time they get to 4, it almost feels effortless how well they've managed to execute it. I'm excited for Ballerina. I love Ana de Armas. I think Len Wiseman's a really good director. He directed those Underworld pictures, which aren't great, but they're well made. And he made a fairly decent Die Hard movie as well in terms of its direction. So I'll be excited to see, what he brings to it. And, John's in it, obviously. So bring it all on. Bring all this stuff on. I'm here for this franchise, definitely. Check out the John Wicks, all of them. And enjoy yourself when you do. Do we have any questions for this day?
We do, but before we get into that, you want to do top 3 action sequences from all 3 movies?
Yes, absolutely. The opening fight in the first film where you first see him, the guys come into his house and you're like, oh, it's this kind of movie. Like, it really establishes it, the tone and what you're in for. And it was nothing like I'd ever seen before,
My number 3 is the hallway fight it's the way it ends, man. I gotta be honest. I don't really care about who gets shot or whatever. It's John Wick picking up an axe and throwing it across the screen and killing somebody with a headshot.
It's epic, that whole, opening of that, that's where it kind of ends, that first part of the chase. But yeah, that's particularly good. What's another one? Yeah, probably the Halle Berry dogfight in 3 is really great. Wait till you see 4. Fucking hell. They just take it to a new level. But yeah, that's probably my next one. Seeing her do that action so convincingly and having 2 fucking German shepherds with her, like, I love it.
Yeah.
I also love how you watch the 4th one and it elevates so much, it's on a grand scale and people are like, man, all this started over a dog. I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, it did. So leave people's pets alone. That's a good move.
Yeah.
What's your number 2?
I'm gonna say the end fight in 2, actually, with the mirror sequences and everything. It's becoming a universe where Constantine is teaming up with or like meeting other DC superheroes. Because in the second one it's Batwoman. In the third one, you said it's Constantine and Catwoman.
It's a small world, the small superhero world. All right, what's my number 1? Yeah, it's probably, out of all of these films, it's probably, getting out of the like through the tunnels in Rome. Like, it's just so well executed and it's such a brilliantly staged sequence and how he's kind of set all the guns up and just his Keanu's ability shines really bright in that. Yeah, I think that's probably my fave out of those 3.
I'm gonna say like the continental assault in the third one.
Oh yeah, actually I changed my answer to that. Yep.
And just like
that's my number 1 as well.
Yeah, but like I just, it's not just the assault. Like I want, like, starting from the assault to I can't get over this, but it's true. Like, from the start of the assault to the end, to the sword fight with John Wick's number 1 fan.
Yeah, with Zero. Absolutely. Let's just have that whole sequence and fuck everybody.
Yeah. It's also, I can't, man. That sequence is so good because it's like, especially like the inside of it. Like, it starts with John Wick getting slammed into like glass cubes, 3 of them. And then it's the twins, and the twins are like, he's getting slow. And like,
yeah, but it's still John Wick. Yeah.
It's still John Wick, and like he tells him to wait. I'll give you. He tells him to wait, and there's like,
then he takes his belt off and starts whooping them ass with a belt. It's fucking excellent.
Yeah, I love that he slips, and it was actually Keanu who slipped in character.
Oh man, he must have. I mean, they say in that thing, John Wick is pain. They say one of the stunt guys is like, if it looks like Keanu's in pain, he probably is.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no acting going on there. You got to respect it.
That's the entirety of chapter 3, man. He's in pain.
You're not ready. You are not ready for 4, I'll tell you that much. Excellent. Wonderful. Well, let's have a look at these questions and then we'll get the fuck out of here.
Always save our puppies.
Yeah, we're going to go and save our puppies. If anyone fucking even looked at my cats weird, I'd kill them all. I'm dead serious. You fuck with my cats, I will murder you without it. Like, I will double tap you without a second thought.
Fuck
okay,
it.
who it is.
All right, so question 1 is, what is the most underrated fight scene in a major action franchise?
Underrated fight scene in a major action franchise. The bathroom fight in Fallout. Everybody talks about the massive...
Fuck you for stealing my answer.
Oh, really? Yeah, because everybody talks about those films based on the one big stunt. But that fight scene is fucking amazing. Not only is it close quarters, 2 people fighting one, but just its staging and how it ends as well. How it, what's his name? Henry Cavill's character reloads his arms and then hits the guy with the fucking face making thing. Like, yeah, I love that secret. That's when I think about that movie, I think about that fight more than the helicopter stuff, any of that shit. It's that one, That there was like a 10-minute action sequence in the club that they go to, with like all these mirrors and shit, and it ends with Ethan just hanging on the chandelier, and they had to cut it for time. It's in the trailer for like a single second. Oh, really?
It's in the trailer for a single second, but it's not in the film. And like, imagine cutting an entire Mission Impossible sequence for time.
Okay, so I stole your answer. Yeah, that's okay. We can double up. You said your favorite, action set piece in the John Wicks 1, 2, and 3 was that last one, and I changed my answer because I wanted it too. So yeah.
This last question is from Chaz, and it's, I'm sorry, man,
because
we're a week late, and I don't know if you're still doing production or not. But he says, create a John Wick style physically exhausting scene to force Chaz Presley to do.
Okay. All right. Let me have a think. A physically exhausting one. Okay, Chaz, you have to kind of do something similar to the axe fight in Old Boy, but under half in water.
Shit.
Like, so you're semi-submerged, but you still have to do a fucking axe battle with a bunch of people and those bunch of people are more proficient in fighting in water than you are because they're water ninjas or something. But yeah, long, continuous take axe fight, semi-submerged. Do that.
It's an axe fight. I don't.
Or you have to fight a bunch of female ninjas, or I don't know, maybe you like male ninjas too, whatever you're into, or maybe in between. It doesn't matter. Whatever gender ninja you enjoy the most, you have to fight them and beat them, but they're also beating you off while they're doing it. So you've got to stop them from giving you hand jobs with nunchucks while they want to beat you to death. Do you know what I'm saying? They want to beat you off to death and you have to stop them, even though it's probably not a bad way to go.
So when you say beat you off to death, that's like when your dick starts to bleed, yeah?
Oh, no, just like continuously give you orgasms until you have a stroke.
Understood.
Yeah, try that. So either that semi-submerged in water or your own cum. Whatever happens. Okay, I shouldn't be allowed on the internet. What do you reckon, buddy?
I don't fucking know.
It's got no answer. That's a hard one to beat. Off.
Maybe like an actual physical fight. But it starts off like a sword fight, and then both of you like break each other's swords, and so you have to resort to like any other martial art. Yeah, beating off, but like beating you up. No. Sorry.
That's my fault.
Yeah. If you're making like an R-rated film, say beating you off is a better choice.
Yeah, I think so too. Let's both go with trying to fight a bunch of ninjas who want to give you just the most amount of hand job initiated orgasms you've ever had. Congratulations, everybody. You're still listening after that nonsense, and we really do appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed the John Wicks. Check out Ballerina. It's coming out soon. They're not a sponsor, whoever's releasing that, by the way, probably Lionsgate. But we're going to do an episode on it at some stage, maybe after a couple of weeks after it's been out, so we can do spoiler stuff, and then we'll also circle back and do John Wick at the same time, John Wick 4. Until then, Addie, you're my favourite assassin, and I love you. I love you to pieces.
You're my favorite axe.
My favourite axe. I'll be your favourite pet dog who gets murdered. Wonderful. Thanks very much, everyone. We'll see you next week. And remember...
Stay amazing. Stay safe. It wasn't just a dog.